So now that we've read both of these books, we want to think about how they're the same and how are the books different. She takes the same idea about nighttime and she puts it in two very different stories. Which story did you like better? Which story, um, what did they both have in common? I feel like they were both very peaceful stories, the stories that you might read before bedtime if you're thinking about why she wrote these stories. Um, I think Cynthia Rylett might be a person who stays awake at night. So she's very aware of all of these things going on around her. Maybe she doesn't sleep very well sometimes. And so she's always listening and always thinking about what's going on around her. She's going to really think about nature and how those sounds and sights of nature and the stories that go on behind her. You know, she's not bothered by raccoons in her yard. She thinks they're adorable and she thinks they have a story to tell. Um, I think I felt like I was in the story with her because of the illustrations that they used and how she talks about the moon with so many adjectives and the little plants and animals with so many adjectives. When she talks about the sounds that you hear in both books, that makes me feel a part of the story because I feel like I'm listening. In fact, one in the Night in the Country book, she actually tells the reader, listen. And I found myself like going, wait, what am I listening for? And I'm like, I'm just reading the book. I'm not going to hear an apple hitting the ground right now. But I almost felt like I could hear that apple hit the ground because I felt like she had told me to listen. And then she makes the sound. She uses that onomatopoeia in a couple places. Lots of metaphors in both books. Or maybe just metaphors in the Long Night Moon book, where she's comparing the moon to melons or she's comparing the moon to other objects. There in Night in the Country there was a metaphor because she compared the owl's eyes to the marbles. So hopefully you picked up on that. And when you compare objects with other objects, it helps the reader really think about what those objects look like and how they have characteristics that are similar to other familiar things. So it builds that understanding of how things are connected. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up. If you have other things that you thought of and you weren't in the Zoom meeting, feel free to post those in private comments after you watch. Tell me some of the things that you noticed about the sensory details. What was your favorite detail that helped you feel connected to the story? So instead of a notebook entry today, if you did not make it to the Zoom meeting, feel free to make a private comment to answer these questions for me. What did you notice? What kinds of things did you really like about this story? Okay, I'm glad you read with me today, and I look forward to seeing how you decide to use sensory details in your writing when we get to our writing part. All these sensory details make us feel like we're right there in the story, and so when we write, we want our readers to feel like they're in our stories. All right, I'll see you next time.